25 investigates uncovering child sex abuse cases inside our local schools. Anchor and investigative reporter Carrie Kavanaugh wanted to find out how safe our children are in Massachusetts public schools.
She found state privacy laws are often protecting predators and school districts. A warning, some of what you're about to hear may be difficult for some viewers.
I don't even want to think about the hours I've spent in therapy and medications I've taken and tried, and just to try to have a normal life.
This woman says she endured sexual abuse at a public school in southeastern Mass when she was just 11 years old. Boston 25 agreed to protect her identity.
One of the administrators at the school started paying a lot of attention to me.
What did that look like?
Picking me out of the hallway to tell me I looked nice. It felt special.
She says that extra attention eventually escalated.
He started pulling me out of the cafeteria at lunchtime to have lunch in his office with him. He started pressuring me to sit on his lap. Progresses to forced oral sex, progresses to other men being involved, and I was terrified of this person.
She says the life-altering abuse lasted for nearly 3 years during the 1990s, all unfolding inside her school.
And all they said is that
since July, 25 Investigates has been working to determine how often children face sexual abuse in our public schools. Scouring through media reports, criminal court records, and lawsuits, we identified 75 cases dating back to 2002 of school personnel who've been in court over allegations of sexual abuse of students at their schools. They led to 64 school staff criminally charged, 11 of them facing charges in 2022 and 23 alone. And we found at least 150 students potentially abused by Massachusetts public school personnel.
The public has to be constantly aware of the dangers that lurk around that corner.
Mitchell Garabedian's a prominent Boston attorney who's represented sex abuse survivors for decades, including cases against the Catholic Church. He says our numbers are just the tip of the iceberg.
Why do you think this issue isn't talked about more?
There's still this odd stigma of it being shameful for a person to have been sexually abused. 25
Investigates also went directly to police and school districts statewide, filing hundreds of public records requests for founded and alleged sex abuse by school employees over the last 5 years.
The vast majority declined to share any details about the extent of sexual misconduct, often citing a state law that keeps secret all reports of sexual and domestic violence. Attorneys for all of these school districts, they said even releasing documented sexual assault findings against school personnel would undoubtedly result in personal embarrassment to the perpetrators. The Dennis Yarmouth Regional School District said it would involve intimate details of a highly personal nature. Wareham Public Schools told us they don't track these reports, and searching for them for us would cost us more than $125,000.
You know, the public schools are worried about our reputation, our jobs, our funding.
DESE told us it no longer tracks how many teachers lose their license due to sexual misconduct. DCF shared data showing it supported dozens of abuse allegations against public school personnel over the last 5 years, but couldn't tell us how many victims were students.
What surprises me is the extent to which we're not doing more as a society to prevent it.
Stephanie Block, an associate professor of psychology at UMass Lowell, has deeply researched criminal cases of child sex abuse and says only a small number of them ever get to trial. She says obstacles prevent victims from getting justice, including a high bar of evidence and difficulty for children to testify.
We need more constant attention to the issue, constant funding, constant effort to really protect children.
Efforts, survivors tell us, are long overdue.
Is Massachusetts failing kids?
Absolutely. We have to do the right thing even when it's the hard thing.
25 Investigates reached out to several state agencies to discuss our findings. All declined to go on camera, including the Mass Teachers Union, the Association of School Superintendents, the Office of the Child Advocate, DESE, and the Department of Children and Families. For 25 Investigates, I'm Carrie Kavanaugh.
Carrie, thank you. 25 Investigates found Massachusetts is trailing other states that have already made big changes to protect children from sex abuse in their schools. We'll look at the push for accountability and why it's failed to get any traction at the State House tomorrow on Boston 25 News at 10. And if you are in need of support or help, call the National Sexual Assault Hotline. That number, 1-800-656-HOPE, 800-656-4673.